live? Oh, I'm so excited. So excited to go live. All right. Hey, folks. Here we are once again. Going live, going live. Here we are. I hope you can hear me. I hope you can see me. I hope you're having a great day. I hope. Hope is the best thing, and no good thing ever dies. I think that's from Shawshank. I love that movie. All right, so today we are talking about quintiles and in astrology. Oh, by the way, Elaine Marolakos Edelson with Astrology Mojo and transformational astrology. You ready to transform? I think you are. It is the holidays, and a lot of stuff that I talk about is actually evergreen, so you can apply it to future events. Today we're going to be talking about an angle in astrology called a quintile. Now, in astrology, and remember folks, the planets don't do anything to you. When the planets make a move, you feel it. When you make a move, the planets reflect that in the heavens. And it's like a mirror on the wall. What's on your wall today? Well, coming up on December 20th, we are going to be talking about, we're talking about what's happened on December 20th, but then it happens again on December 21st, and that's when I will also be chatting with you on Facebook Live. And it's a very exciting time, actually, because a quintile is the one of the angles that I really like to look at in a person's chart because, there's many angles, and the angles between planets culminate into an entire definition of what's going on in your life, who you came here to be, what gifts you can open, and where your challenges might show up in life based on who you are and what your perceptions are and what you've been doing. So when I look at the angles and aspects, and what are some of them? A square, and a square in your chart is like sitting on something really uncomfortable, and you go, what is that? So it gets your attention. It can be very annoying at times. And it's often a behavior that you embody that you're here to work out. Or there's a triangle, 120 degrees, where it's just ease. It's grace and ease. How many times have we heard that phrase in the past 5 years? Grace and ease. And let's not use it anymore. Let's say something else. Let's say effortless. When you have a trine in your chart, it implies that there are certain things in your chart, depending on what planet, the planets that the trine is in, you have an effortless talent for something in particular. But the quintile, what I find fascinating is that the quintile is 72 degrees, and on December 20th, 2018, the moon is going to be quintiling. Is that a word? It is now. Mars. So the moon, and this is what it looks like, by the way. This is a very professional, technical drawing that I found online. No, I didn't. I made it myself about 4 minutes ago. And this is a quintile. It's a Q, essentially. It's the letter Q, and it is 72 degrees. And what it describes or defines for you is your inner passions, your inner power, and what hidden talents you might have. Now, if you don't have a quintile in your natal chart, the chart that you were born with, it doesn't mean you don't have inner power or talents. It just is another way to define you personally and your karmic adventure here on Earth. So dismay not, worry not if you don't have a quintile. It's okay. But what's happening now in the universe is that the moon, and I like to hold my numite. It's a little stone that I got very recently. See those little rainbows in there? It's so cool. Keeps me grounded when I'm doing these readings, and not readings. Well, to me, it feels like a reading. but these videos. And a quintile in the 72-degree angle, the moon, which represents your emotional self or a person's emotional self, the body of water and the magnetism that you have on the earth. Also, not just emotions, but feminine energy as well. And the flow of the undercurrent, things that are going on underneath you, inside, way deep down in the recesses of your emotions and your heart. I don't mean the physical heart, I mean the emotional heart and the chakra heart, the energetic heart. And so when the moon, which on December 20th, 2018, will be quintile, 72 degrees, Mars, there's going to be a very emotional connection made in the heavens that relates to your spiritual awareness, your superpower. Let's call it that. What's your inner superpower? I used to say it to my husband, mine is math. And we know that that's not a superpower for some people, but for me, it is. And I admire those people who can do it. So anyway, the quintile that's happening this week, and it'll be exact on the day. That's the influence is pretty much the day of, not leading into it. When we make a quintile 72 degrees, when it's 70 degrees, you feel it. When it's 71 degrees, you feel it even more. When it's 72 degrees, it's here. And then when it's 73 degrees, it kind of drops in energy. So it's actually building toward the energy this week. And so you will feel it this week. And then it culminates to a peak on the 20th of December, 2018. And so what can you expect? And this is not in your natal chart, obviously. These are the transits that the planets and the spherical orbs are making in the universe. But then remember, whatever is going on around you energetically, you're going to feel. You may not acknowledge it or know what it is. You can just call it, oh, I had a day, or a thing happened, or just like, wow, I had this argument, or, the opposites for this quintile, and where I like to call them a spiritual angle. But for some people who are not paying attention to how they feel, to their desires, their needs, their wants, and they're not expressing themselves very well, what can happen is this urgency for compulsion. It's like, I got to go do something, and you are driving to go one way, and then suddenly you make a turn and you go a completely different direction. And so you want to be really aware on December 20th what your desires are, what your feelings are, because what's going to happen is as the 72 degrees comes into play, the inner revelation, that's a big one for a lot of people. It's an inner revelation that will just reveal your hidden talents, those hidden passions, your hidden desires. Now, I have to take it out of the 30,000 foot range and bring it down to earth. Sometimes your hidden powers or your hidden genius is knowing how to organize a group of people. So you might be a manager at work. Maybe you're a waitress. Maybe you're a CEO or a CFO, and organizing the numbers, getting people together, getting your stuff going on. Your talent doesn't have to be singing an aria on, at Carnegie Hall. You have many talents. And if you can sing an aria, please invite me to Carnegie Hall. Hey, do you know the old joke? How do you get to Carnegie Hall? If you're driving in New York and you're trying to get to Carnegie Hall and you need directions, and you ask, how do you get to Carnegie Hall? Expect the joke answer, which is practice. You must practice before you get to Carnegie Hall. Okay. That was a really funny old bad joke. Okay. So what's expanding in you right now? Where do you want to go with it? And if you've been holding energy, remember this is Mars action. Mars represents action. Or if it's inaction, it's passive aggressive energy. It's coming out sideways because you're not comfortable being direct with someone, or it's anger that's been repressed. So that's where the compulsion comes in. It's like, you're going, you're talking, you're doing. And suddenly you go, I've had it with you. I'm done. So you want to be careful of the extremes, because where the soft and squishy heart is concerned, it's sometimes dealing with how you feel more than what the action is around it. So just start naming your feelings if you're feeling pent up around the 20th of December as we lead up to this. And today's the 17th. So then I'm going to be back on Friday, December 21st, and I'm going to be talking about 2 other quintiles. Yeah, let me see. I've got my notes here. And that is Saturn Quintile Mars. That's going to be pretty powerful, very powerful. And the Sun Quintile Neptune. So your vision, illusion, organizing the structure of your business, whatever your business is. And your business might be taking care of your kids. Maybe your business is an actual online marketing business. Maybe your business is to stay out of other people's business. So let's just see what that is on Friday. So there's 3 quintiles this week, and they're going to be pretty powerful, and you're going to feel them. And it can be just excitement for the holiday and the season, and gift giving and donating to your favorite charities or whatever it is that you like to do at this time of year. And to remember that this time of year can last every day. It's not about gift giving. It's about compassion and kindness, right? So I'm feeling kind of low energy today. And, in another Facebook Live, I'm going to make a note right now to talk about biorhythms. We're going to be talking about biorhythms next week as well. So anyway, I'm just kind of hanging out, going slow, doing my thing. I'm going to pull a card for everyone today as we talk about the quintile, and I'm going to talk more about it. In the meantime, now is a really great time to find that blue Book Now button on your Facebook page. On my Facebook page, and to get your holiday event reading with me. This is going to cover 2019 and 2020. So it's a 30-minute reading, and for yourself or for someone you love, and it's going to last for about 2 years. So I'm going to go deep and wide and really get into what's coming up based on what you're creating and how to alter the direction to make it something truly conscious, an intentional life. That's what I'm all about here at Astrology Mojo. As a modern mystic, I think it's really important that you recognize your own ability to create this powerful feeling of not just being present, but what you can do in the present moment. What can you do? And that's why this quintile that's coming up, I love working with quintiles or seeing them in people's charts. And now that there are 3 this week, I want you to utilize this energy the best way you know how, so that you can access that inner genius, that inner creative spark that really wants to do something, instead of telling yourself. And when you start to feel it, here's what not to do. You might get this urge to say, I want to join a talent show because I love to tap dance, or I love to sing, even though I'm not a really good singer. And I'm like, stop with the negative, condescending, invalidating, self-sabotaging sentences. When your quintile shows up this week, and it will, you want to access that magic, because it's magical, and feel that I can do this. And then you train for it, and you break a sweat, and you're, nervous about it, and all that stuff, all that good stuff. That is what is being human. And by the way, when people make an excuse, when they say, oh, well, I'm only human. Well, is that an excuse for failure? I don't think so, because we all make mistakes. So let's eradicate the extremes like success and failure, and the I did it or I can't, or I'm great or I'm not. You are enough, just period. Let's start from there. You are enough. Now build on that. And what would you like to do? What would you like to do with your greatness? And this particular quintile, this 72 degrees, and I'll show it to you one more time before I pick a card. This is the quintile. That's a Q. If you know your chart and you see an angle between 2 planets, or between the sun and the moon and a planet, you might see the sun quintiling your Pluto, or the Mercury quintiling your Mars. And if you have that, it's a really great indication that you have inner, unaccessed, unrealized power. Now, even if you don't have a quintile, you can make use of the transits in the heavens right now. And I want to see you do that. Hi, Mary. And a quintile, again, is 72 degrees between a planet or a spherical orb like the sun or the moon, or your north node or your south node, or your midhaven and a planet. So there you go, 72 degrees. And what is that? Well, it's a lovely temperature here in Arizona in the springtime. Right now it's chilly, but we're in the mountains, 4,500 people up, 4,500 feet up. And people will say to me, God, isn't it hot, in the winter? I'm like, no, it can rain and snow here. Okay, because we're way up in the mountains. So a quintile, again, your inner hidden genius is going to reveal itself if you allow it. So what I recommend is you meditate on December 20th. Start with the 19th and the 20th and just meditate on being present and thinking about, put the intention, the little seed of, I am opening up my hidden inner genius, my hidden inner talent, instead of the compulsion or the need to act out emotionally, because this is between Mars, which is action, or if you're repressed, it's passive-aggressive action, and your emotional state. And we want flow. We want active flow. That's what it looks like. Not lava. I mean, unless lava turns you on. Okay, cool. But not lava. We want a flow of your inherent talents. That's what we're looking for in this meditation. So just get quiet, do 3 minutes, focus on releasing that hidden talent. What is that? And again, it can be knowing how to bake cookies like nobody else. It can be knowing how to organize and manage paperwork. I mean, no talent is dismissed. So whatever it is that you discover, and it may be something that's been coming back. And then on Friday, we're going to talk about the other 2 quintiles that are happening between the sun and Neptune. And the sun is focus. Neptune is ideal vision. And between Saturn, structure and karma, and Mars, you're acting on your karmic ideal vision. There, that was Friday's Facebook Live. I guess I'm done. Okay. We're going to talk about that again, though, in depth. All right, I'm pulling a card for everyone because this is a really magical time, not just because it's the holidays, but because we have inherent power that's just lying there waiting to be accessed. And here's the card. Ooh, this is a pretty card. And the message of this particular card is essence. So what's your essence? That's what we want to know. What is your true essence in a quintile? Your essence that bubbles up to the surface that you would normally push down, repress, or invalidate because you say, nah, I can't do that. Oh, I would love to, be a race car driver. Nah, I'm too old. I don't know. I don't have the money. I don't have blah, blah, blah. Okay. When the essence comes up like little bubbles in a champagne glass, you want to feel them. Allow yourself to feel them. Allow yourself to be present with them, because the quintile is a subtle aspect. And the more you're in tune with how you feel, what you think, not just what to do with what you feel, but the actual thought that coincides with the feeling. So let's say you're meditating this week and you have this inner joy. It's just the sense of, I just feel great when I'm doing this, fill in the blank. I just feel so present. I feel so me when I'm doing this, fill in the blank. Then when you come out of that state in that meditation, what's the thought that coincides with the feeling? And because I feel so great doing this, fill in the blank, now I want to act on it this way. So first it's discovering what the inner power is as it bubbles to the surface. And then it's deciding, how can I act on this? Can I do something about it? Because Mars, Mars's action word is do. Let's do something. And when you understand the essence of what you're doing, it no longer becomes a reaction, a compulsion, or the need to win or get ahead of that person who's first in line. And, you become so much more present with who you are and your inner hidden talents and genius. Are we willing to go there? Yes, we're willing to go there. One more time, folks. A quintile, I see it as a spiritual aspect in your chart. And if you don't have one in your natal chart, it's okay, because it doesn't mean you don't have hidden inner talents. It just means there's other aspects and angles that will define what they are. But when I see a transit in the universe come by and it's 72 degrees between these two orbs, then you want to make use of that. You want to access that energy inside of you. And on Friday, when we talk about the Sun and Saturn quintiling Moon and Neptune, there's going to be a lot of activity coming up. A lot of people suddenly discovering. It's going to be more about self-discovery on Friday. We're going to chat about that. So one more time, if you haven't yet clicked on the Book Now blue button, it might be on, if you're on a phone or a tablet, it might be below, so you have to scroll. Then do so, because I am giving 30-minute special holiday readings, and these sessions are going to last for approximately 2 years. And we're going to get in there and find out, what does 2019 look like for you? What does 2020 look like? And not because it's happening to you, but because of what you're creating consciously and unconsciously. And I want to get you back on track so that you can manifest and actualize and realize the goals that you've been wanting to see happen in your life. So you can have wealth, health, passion, and purpose. And it is possible. So, all right, folks, that's me for now. And we'll be back on Friday, December 21st in the later afternoon. Look for me and I'll send out a message on my newsletter list and also on Facebook. And we'll talk more about quintiles and how you can be your effervescent, ideal, beautiful, compassionate self. Who is a genius? You are a genius. All right, folks, be well.